Ladies and gentlemen, here in this video, I will share with you the big news for Tesla stock that should have Tesla pretty solidly in the green tomorrow. And if it doesn't, well, then we have bigger problems. And honestly, I would have no idea why Tesla stock is or has been falling in recent days. Because the biggest negative driving factor for Tesla stock recently has been the black cloud of a potential TikTok takeover by Elon Musk. Now, even people that are not invested in markets, that don't follow Elon very closely, have had this same rumor. Go ask your wife, your girlfriends, your sisters, your brothers, your uncles, your grandma, for that matter, whoever uses TikTok, and ask them who is buying TikTok. They're going to say Elon Musk. And this has had a negative impact on Tesla stock. Now, as some of you guys have pointed out in the comment sections of these videos, the fact that Trump is really not green energy friendly could also have had a negative impact on Tesla stock recently, but I do think it's mainly fears of Elon potentially selling tens of billions of dollars in Tesla stock to finance a deal to buy TikTok. Apparently, Elon is not in the conversation to buy TikTok. At least that is what we now know. And this could cause Tesla stock to go parabolic, considering we've actually had a lot of good news for markets. Markets have hit new all-time highs, and Tesla has not. If we're correct, and this TikTok Elon rumor has held Tesla back for so long, this should be a big sigh of relief for investors. Now, considering hedge funds and institutions are bullishly positioning in the options market for Tesla earnings, I shared that with you over the last two videos now, well, you would expect to see some very bullish activity in Tesla coming tomorrow morning following this news. Here is the article from CNBC itself. It's titled, "Trump Discussing TikTok Purchase with Multiple People. Decision in 30 days." It says here, let's see. Under the deal being negotiated by the White House, TikTok's China-based owner, ByteDance, would retain a stake in the company, but data collection and software updates would be overseen by Oracle, which already provides the foundation of TikTok's web infrastructure, one of the sources told Reuters. However, in his comments to reporters on the flight, Trump said he had not spoken to Oracle's Larry Ellison about buying the app. That's not true. During the $100 billion Stargate press conference, he talked to Larry Ellison about buying TikTok in front of all the reporters. So maybe there hasn't been conversations beyond that, but that is not true. They did talk about this live in front of everyone. Now, it says the sources did say the terms of any potential deal with Oracle were fluid and likely to change. One source said the full scope of the discussions was not yet set and could include the U.S. operations as well as other regions. It does say the deal being negotiated anticipates participation from some of ByteDance's current U.S. investors, according to the sources. Jeff Yass's Susquehanna International Group, General Atlantic, Kohlberg Kravis Roberts, KKR, and Sequoia Capital are among ByteDance's U.S. backers, so there would be other people involved in this deal as well. It does say others vying to acquire TikTok, including the investor group led by billionaire Frank McCourt, and another involving Jimmy Donaldson, better known as the YouTube star Mr. Beast, are not part of the Oracle negotiation, one of the sources said. It does say officials from Oracle and the White House held a meeting on Friday about a potential deal, and another meeting has been scheduled for next week, the NPR reported. Oracle was interested in a TikTok stake in the tens of billions, but the rest of the deal is in flux, the NPR reported, citing the source as saying. Trump has said he would like the United States to have a 50% ownership position in the joint venture in TikTok. There is zero mention of Elon Musk here, and that's a big positive for Tesla's stock. And if truly TikTok is the black cloud over Tesla stock recently, then Tesla should go parabolic this week. Like, Tesla stock should rally. Consider this for a moment. The Model Y was just upgraded. The best-selling vehicle in the world just got a little bit more expensive, about 8% more expensive, with really, it's just a good deal. You get a lot of extra things embedded in the launch series of the Model Y. So the best-selling vehicle in the world just got better. It's more expensive, better margins for Tesla. It looks better. We launched that, and Tesla stock fell 1.5% on Friday. I mean, that doesn't make sense, right? So maybe some of the good news we've heard recently, some of the positive developments like Optimus that could be running at 600 units produced per week by the end of this year. All of this news has gotten ignored. What about advanced autopilot free trials in China? ASS free trials in China? That's a pretty strong sign that FSD is entering the Chinese market. It's gotten completely ignored. Now, typically, when you have a lot of good news, but there's one thing that people are negative on, the one big bear in the wolf in the room, if you will, once that goes away, people all of a sudden can start to pay attention to all of the good news. But it's like that one big bad thing is so bad that it kind of overhangs all of the good things. So refreshed Model Y, FSD that's imminently going to enter the Chinese market, and rumors that Optimus could be running at 30,000 plus per year run rate of production heading into next year. None of that you don't think is positive? Let me tell you, all of it is positive. Now, another big situation this week to watch out for is the whole DeepSeek Chinese company. Now, here's the deal. Everyone's believing DeepSeek actually only spent about $6 million to develop like a ChatGPT equivalent. I think we should really question the numbers coming out of China. After all, if you can't audit $50+ billion companies, if they're being threatened to be delisted because they won't let US auditors in, but yet we're going to listen to a startup Chinese AI company's numbers, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. So in theory, this should probably be just, brushed off. But it did have an effect on markets on Friday. And some people are saying this could be the black swan event for AI, if you will, and really have a lot of people reconsidering their AI investments, right? For Microsoft and Meta and all of these companies spending $50+ billion a year in NVIDIA products. If a Chinese company can do it for $6 million, that's an issue. Okay, so this could either get pushed to the side, as I believe you can't believe the numbers coming out of a Chinese company unless it's audited and verified by a third party, which they do not do that. Or this could be a huge thing for our markets and for Mag 7 names. We will see coming tomorrow. Just know, if AI stocks are taking a hit, it's because of this DeepSeek situation. And this could also be an issue for Tesla stock if the markets do just start to fall. If markets get fearful, then Tesla's a high beta stock and Tesla will also succumb to some of the fear. Now, Tesla reports earnings this week. Tesla reports earnings on Wednesday in after hours alongside Meta, Microsoft, IBM, Lam Research, ServiceNow, and others. In the next video, I will go over specifically my expectations for Tesla earnings, where I think the stock could go if things are good, if things are bad. We'll look at some of the technicals on Tesla and really what matters for Tesla earnings. We already kind of know what revenue and EPS are likely to look like. It's all about the conference call, and that is the big catalyst for Tesla stock in regards to earnings. We'll talk about that a little bit more in the next video. Nonetheless, Tesla's manufacturing official X account has posted a video of Giga Berlin getting ready to start production of the new Model Y. And the employees here say that they really like the Model Y more than they thought they were going to. Also in the news today, the Giga Semi factory is completely enclosed. Pilot production is targeted to begin later this year with an eventual production capacity of 50,000 trucks per year. And it looks like the Tesla Semi with the 500-mile range is going to be about $180,000. So some simple math here, which that's actually not a terrible price, all things considered, times 50,000 would be about $9 billion in revenue for Tesla. That would actually be material. I mean, that's about 10% of Tesla's entire revenue they had in 2024, roughly, of course. If you had a 20% margin on that, that'd be $1.8 billion of profitability. Divide that by 3.3 billion shares outstanding. That could add about 54 cents of EPS to Tesla stock, times by 120 times forward multiple in which we're trading at right now. That could actually add about $65.45 or so to Tesla's EPS when this is, or to Tesla's stock price when this is fully scaled out. So it's actually kind of a contributor as things do get up and operational. Now, option activity on Friday for Tesla stock was more positive than we were used to for the majority of last week. We had 90 different trades from hedge funds and institutions, totaling $87.33 million with a positive order value of 67%. As I shared with you from that clip from CNBC, there was a lot of bullish bets being placed on Tesla around that 420 call expiring this week. These options are $1,600 a piece. That puts the break even at about $436 per share for Tesla stock. Now, Tesla in the options is pricing in about an 8% move up or down heading into Tesla earnings. So with that break even, that's about a 7% move higher for Tesla. Not quite what you would need to actually likely break even on these options. You would need a move more so into the 450s or so to make those option buys actually make sense. And then as you get higher than that, then your profit really starts to add up. So hedge funds and institutions were taking on some very bullish positions for Tesla and this earnings season. You can see this trade here. Look at this one. A March 21st 450 call. Bought these for $2,300 a piece. So that break even's about $473. This trade was worth $1.14 million. Look at this, February 21st, 405 call with a break even of about $435. $1.5 million trade there. Okay, so there are some pretty big trades coming in that should not be ignored. Even this one, a January 31st, 230 call worth $2.21 million. Okay. Again, another one here, a January 31st, 210 call worth $2 million. A January 31st, 210 call worth $3 million. Okay. There's a lot of big trades coming in my opinion, suggestive of an upside surprise following Tesla earnings. Now, this is the first earnings in 2025. And if things do go well, then you could see some short sellers starting to cover on those short positions. Now, I think considering a lot of people are kind of bearish on Tesla right now, the bar's set a little bit lower. It's not like we're trading at all-time highs heading into Tesla earnings. Tesla's down about 20%. Okay, from that all-time high. I think it's closer to about 17%, but you get the idea. So sentiment-wise, we're not super optimistic, and that can lead to more of a surprise, more of a bullish reaction from Tesla stock following the conference call, which is really what's going to matter. Now, if you take a look at the short position for Tesla, on Friday, you had return shares of 1.34 million, borrowed shares of 1.08 million. That was about 260,000 shares that were on net covered on. That's pretty good. Short sellers actually covered a little over 250,000 shares in Tesla stock. You have short interest of free float at 2.4%, $27.61 billion currently sold short, and about 67 million shares that are sold short. The biggest driver of Tesla stock tends to be the option activity, but at any time, short sellers can start to cover and things can get even more explosive to the upside. Now, the big level to watch for heading into Wednesday is whether the stock gets back above this 20-day moving average, which you have found some resistance at the last 3 days. Not exactly a great sign. Not the end of the world, but not a great sign. That 20-day moving average is at $414 per share. So preferably you want to get above that by Wednesday. If not, you want to watch that 391 level. If you fall below that, that is currently where your 50-day moving average is. That would be an issue because that opens the door to retest your 100-day moving average at $316 per share. But again, just take a look at how negative sentiment is. Currently, you're coming in bearish at 42. Yesterday, you were extremely bearish at 20. So people do not feel confident in Tesla. People are watching the rest of the markets. The headline S&P hit new all-time highs and Tesla not participating. And they're saying, wow, well, that kind of sucks. That's not good for Tesla, right? And they're getting a little bit more nervous. Now, I do think a lot of that was the whole rumor that Elon was going to buy TikTok. That does not look like it is materializing. That should be very positive for Tesla coming tomorrow morning. Now, it may take a little bit of time for the algorithms to wake up and realize the news, okay? But I do think that could cause Tesla stock to go pretty parabolic tomorrow, considering all of the recent good news that we have got, right? As I went over, the new Model Y, the news about Optimus, the imminent launch of FSD in the Chinese market. These are all things that are going to add materially to either Tesla's bottom line or longer term AI projects, right? Like Optimus. You could see message volume also low today at 38. 1 day ago, it was high at 56, and participation ratio is normal at 54. All of the other checks look good for Tesla. Model Y search trend activity recently was at 28. Now it's at 32. You got to give it a little bit of time to aggregate the data since the new Model Y launched, but you are starting to trend upwards in the right direction. Looks like the Cybertruck is also moving higher from 19 to 23. So all things check out there, and that is worldwide. If you look at the United States, search trend activity is again doing kind of the same thing, but it's more so picking up across the board. At least for the Model 3 went from 10 to 11. Model Y went from 18 to 21, and even the Cybertruck went from 14 to 16. So all the checks look good as far as Google Trends are concerned. Not too much of a change here as well. Tesla continuing to run 4,000 different ads with Google, and Tesla's global inventory, which I really think is just a barometer of production more than anything, is starting to fall. And I actually think that makes sense because there was a push to produce, I think, some extra Model Ys. We've seen inventory numbers hit the highest level we've seen in forever for the Model Y at about 12,000 units. So there was a big production push. I think to have inventory to sell over the next couple of weeks as Tesla does gear up their factories to start mass producing the new Model Y. Now you're seeing inventory numbers fall as Tesla sells down that inventory and is not producing as many vehicles at this point anymore. Model Y at about 8,400 units. Model 3 also falling to about 5,000 units. The Model S recently spiked from 1,000, now at 2,600. but the Model X is coming back down to about 4,100 as well, and the Cybertruck down here at just under 1,000 vehicles in total global inventories. So ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for this video. Unfortunately, I cannot cram all of this information that you need to know into one video, or it would be like an hour long, maybe 45 minutes long, and you guys just don't have time for that. As I've heard, you guys like shorter videos, and I try my best to keep them as short as possible. So that is going to do it for this video. In the next video, we will specifically go over what Wall Street is expecting for Tesla's numbers when they report earnings, EPS, auto gross margins, all of that. And I will share with you what is really important for Tesla earnings, what will move the stock. Now, I will share my opinions and what I think is going to happen, what I'm doing with my Tesla position, if I'm doing anything at all, and my expectations. And we will look at some other things, like the rest of big tech earnings. What are my expectations around those? The Fed is this week. That's going to be a huge catalyst as well. We do have a lot of economic data, and I think all of this could be important for general markets, and also could be important for Tesla stock. So the work is definitely cut out for us in the next video. Also, stay tuned to the channel for that one, coming out at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight. But with that said, ladies and gentlemen, have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.